First Chronicles 13. And David took counsel with the captains of thousands, and of hundreds, and with all the leaders. And David said to all the congregation of Israel, If it seems good to you, and if this comes from the Lord our God, let us quickly send messengers to all our other brethren throughout all the lands of Israel, and to the priests and Levites in their cities, and in their suburbs, that they may gather together with us. And let us bring the ark of our God back to us, because we did not seek it in the days of Saul. Then the whole congregation commanded that this be done, because this thing seemed right in the eyes of all the people. So David summoned all Israel from Shir in Egypt to Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath-Jearim. And then David and all Israel went up to Baalah of Kiriath-Jearim, which is in Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, the Lord who dwells between the cherubim, on which his name is invoked. And they carried the ark of God from the house of Abinadab on a new chariot, and Uzzah and Ahio drove the chariot. And David and all Israel rejoiced before God with all their might, with songs, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with tambourines, and with cymbals, and with trumpets. And when he came to the threshing floor of Kittim, Uzzah stretched out his hand to hold the ark, because the oxen stumbled. Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him, because he had stretched out his hand to the ark, and he died there before God. And David was filled with grief because the Lord had breached Uzzah, therefore he called that place Perez-Uzzah, to this day. In that day David feared God, saying, How shall I bring the ark of God to me? Therefore David did not bring the ark to him, to the city of David, but he caused her to be taken to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. So the ark of God stayed with the family of Obed-Edom 3 months in his house, and the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. First Chronicles 14. Then Hiram king of Tyre sent messengers to David, and cedar timbers, and masons, and carpenters, to build him a house. And David understood that the Lord had confirmed him king over Israel, because his kingdom had been highly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. And David took even more women in Jerusalem, and begot David still more sons and daughters. And these are the names of the sons which he had in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, and Abar, Elishua, Elpalit, and Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, and Elisama, Eliada, and Eliphalet. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to seek David, which hearing David, soon went out against them. And the Philistines came and spread out in the valley of Rephaim. Then David inquired of God, saying, Shall I go up against the Philistines, and will you deliver them into my hand? And the Lord said to him, Go up, for I will give them into your hand. And going up to Baal-perazim, David smote them there, and David said, By my hand God has defeated my enemies, as the waters break up. By what they called that place, Baal-perazim. And there they left their gods, and David ordered them to be burned with fire. But the Philistines returned and spread out in the valley. And David inquired of God again, and God said unto him, Thou shalt not go up after them, but go around them behind, and come to them in front of the mulberry trees. And it will come to pass, that when you hear the sound of marching through the tops of the mulberry trees, then you will go out to battle, for God will have gone out before you to smite the army of the Philistines. And David did as God had commanded him, and they smote the army of the Philistines from Gibeon to Gezer. So the name of David spread throughout all those lands, and the Lord put the fear of him over all those nations. First Chronicles 15. David also made himself a house in the city of David, and he prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched a tent for it. Then David said, No one can carry the ark of God except the Levites, for the Lord has chosen them to carry the ark of God and to serve him forever. And David summoned all Israel to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord to his place, which he had prepared for him. And David gathered together the sons of Aaron and the Levites. Of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief, and of his brethren 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief, and of his brothers 220. Of the sons of Gershon, Joel the chief, and of his brothers 130. Of the sons of Elizaphan, Shemaiah the chief, and of his brothers 200. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and of his brothers 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Amminadab the chief, and of his brothers 112. And David called the priests Zadok and Abiathar, and the Levites, Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Eliel, and Amminadab. And he said unto them, Ye are the chief fathers among the Levites, sanctify yourselves, you and your brothers, that you may bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel to the place that I have prepared for it. Because you did not carry it the first time, the Lord our God made a breach on us, because we did not seek him according to the ordinance. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel. And the sons of the Levites bore the ark of God on their shoulders, by the poles that were in it, as Moses had commanded according to the word of the Lord. And David spake unto the chief of the Levites, that they should appoint of their brethren singers, that with musical instruments, with psalteries, harps, and cymbals, they might make themselves heard, lifting up their voices with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman the son of Joel, and of his brothers, Asaph the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Merari, his brothers, Ethan the son of Chechiah. And with them their brothers of the second order, Zechariah, Ben, Jahaziel, Semiramoth, Jehiel, Uni, Eliab, Benaiah, Messiah, Mattathiah, Eliphelius, Micniah, Obed-Edom, and Jehiel, the gatekeepers. And the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were heard with metal cymbals. And Zechariah, Aziel, Shemiramoth, Jeiel, Uni, Eliab, Messiah, and Benaiah, with psalteries, over Alamoth. And Mattathiah, Eliphelius, Micnias, Obed-Edom, Jeiel, and Azaziah, with harps, over Shinite, to excel. And Kenaniah, chief of the Levites, had charge of directing the singing, he taught them to chant it, because he was understood. And Berechiah and Elkanah were porters of the ark. And Shebaniah, Jehoshaphat, Nethanel, Amasai, Zechariah, Benaiah, and Eleazar, the priests, blew the trumpets before the ark of God, and Obed-Edom and Jaiah were porters of the ark. So it came to pass, that David, and the elders of Israel, and the captains of the thousands, went with joy to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord, out of the house of Obed-Edom. And it came to pass, when God helped the Levites who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. And David was dressed in a fine linen mantle, as were all the Levites who carried the ark, and the singers, and Kenaniah, the master of the singers. David also wore a linen ephod. And all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord, with shouting, and with the sound of horns, and trumpets, and cymbals, sounding with psalteries and harps. And it came to pass, when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, Saul's daughter, looked out of a window, and, seeing David dancing and playing, despised him in her heart. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your like, and leave a comment.